Welcome back to this month's Client Spotlight. I am with a DOO that, trust me, you guys would all want to hire. Wait till you hear this story. I am here with Lauren Rice. She's the Director of Operations at the Shawn Martin Group. We actually hired and found Lauren a little while ago. But Lauren, thank you so much for being on this month.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, I think one of the things that makes your story really unique, and we love to find in Ciprani Consulting, independent, highly responsive, growth-minded problem solvers. I'm going to brag on you for a minute, if that's okay. One of the things that made Lauren's story so interesting, I mean, she was great as a candidate, but she wanted to invest in herself. And we have this consulting program that is tailored to businesses. And Lauren basically got the job with Shawn and said, I think this is really important. I really want to invest in me. And basically, you used your own money to do that as you were kind of learning and building and investing in yourself as you were in this role. Is that right?
It is, yeah. I'd taken a few training classes before that Shawn had or my team lead had signed up and paid for and did all of that. And it was great in that I was learning information, but it wasn't the same level of I guess expectation or accountability in terms of what value I was really going to implement or how it aligned to me. It was
Yeah.
more so just information that I was getting. So with this, I think that if I don't find it a value to want to invest in myself, I don't see why someone else would be like, okay, well, I think that that's the right direction.
Yeah. Well, and that's just such a cool, I mean, if that is the definition of growth mindset, just, you want to find people that are in your business that think and care at that level. And I just love that story. Is why we wanted to have you on. So, would love to just ask you, I know you worked with one of our top consultants. You worked with Kayla here. What was some of that process like for you as you were, you're getting into a new position and then you have this third party, Soprano Consulting, helping you, training you. Tell me a little bit of what that was like for you as you were going through it.
Yeah, so my start was very interesting because I came in right at the end of January, so I was kind of prepping myself to get with the new year. And of course, I had intentions of following the curriculum day by day as the course is set up to do. That was something I'm always very, you can't say if something works or doesn't work if you don't follow the system as it's intended. But it was very quick to come to find out that that was not the path that would make sense for really what our business had going on at the time.
Right.
We kind of went through all of the systems I did have, or if they even existed, or to what capacity that looked like. And there were things that were just like very adamantly not set up at all and happened to
Yeah.
be things that we were trying to implement immediately. So it was a little bit of a slow start on my end, but it was nice that we were able to kind of jump around to where we needed to be before like resetting back into like the rhythm.
Yeah. So it sounds like the approach was tailored a little bit and what you were doing and uniquely in your business. That's really neat. Uh, Tell me just a little bit more about, why was it important to have someone that wasn't your boss helping you, guiding you, maybe giving you just an advisory capacity, just kind of connecting with you around some of those things. Why was that kind of, I call it the third party or third voice in the room important to you as you were setting up new systems, learning the position, learning your boss, learning a lot. You're the director of operations. You probably have a lot on your plate. How did Kayla help you just to find your footing and then deliver at a high level?
Yeah, I think there's a lot that can come from just on the baseline of validation when it comes to like within your role and the people who are hired for certain roles obviously have different mindsets or different skill sets. So Shawn is not meant to be a director of operations, and therefore, like while he has a vision for what his team looks like, there's intricacies and nuances that maybe aren't what he is overly skilled in or has the education level to make me past where he's at.
Right.
So having someone like Kayla who A had previously worked with someone similar to Shawn, so she had her own experiences, but also could validate and reassure like things that I felt that were going on or like experiences I was having were on track or in line with what I should be expecting for those scenarios, and just kind of had to navigate through them, which was incredibly
Yeah, and
helpful.
I love that. How long did you work with Kayla when you were going through the process?
My last meeting with her was like 2 weeks ago, so just about 8 months or so.
8 months. Okay. So this is always the thing that I talk to owners about, but I'd love to just hear if you're willing to share, what were some of the things that you guys built together through this program that you've delivered? Because at the end of the day, um, people don't invest in operations. They don't invest in their systems as much as I believe they should. That's something we are passionate about. But if you can give me a couple examples, what were some of the things you guys built out together?
Yeah, so my favorite is definitely the website. It was actually one of the last things that we did, which was kind of like a culmination of all the hard work I had already put together, but to put it into like a hub space that similar to your point, where it's like I can say that we're working on these things or start implementing things on a day to day, but they don't impact the agents and the team leads as much as it does when you're looking at it in its entirety of like here's an entire workspace of like all of the things I've accomplished.
Yes.
So that was huge. And then really just kind of our like CRM auto plans and things like that. We had a lot of things that when we kind of came down to it was like I knew how to do them because they were in my head, but to get them out of my head was really the like transition part that was very meticulously needed. Like someone to be like, okay, well, you're missing a step here, and you know that you would do it, so why isn't it in there?
Yeah. So it sounds like, things are way more efficient maybe than they were. How's that made Sean's life easier?
A lot. I think he's obviously proud of the improvements that we've made and how it affects the clients because obviously that is our like top priority. And then just hearing the feedback, I think from the team of things that they like and things that they've used that are now turning into like success stories on that end have only gone to further implement why it was important to do them in the first
Yeah.
place.
I love that. And that's like what you do get out of creating more efficiencies. If you're the business owner and that is not your strength zone, finding someone like Lauren to build that out with you so that you can be more efficient, it's going to put more of an ROI behind what you're doing, but it's also going to save you a lot of time, right? I mean, that's the other advantage of building out your operations in the way that you did. So that's really cool. So you've been about a year, it sounds like, in the position. What's next for you guys? What are you excited about with the Sean Martin Group?
Yeah, now that we have the onboarding and all of the other systems in place, now it's really about trying to scale, trying to grow the agent count that we have so that we can essentially test the systems. Our team is a little bit on the smaller side in general, so while we can get some feedback, Sean's favorite thing is like if you're not breaking the system, it's not working. So finding those holes and plugging into things to find out what works right now versus what will work in long term is kind of our next step.
That sounds really exciting. And if someone was on the fence about investing in their operations team around a program like this, what would you say? Why would it be worth it based on your experience and what you felt?
I think that every team has a this is what we do and this is what works for us. Specifically, I know on our end, again, a lot of things that happened or were successful in our business were because they were in my head and I was doing them. But the hindrance is that, if one person is solely responsible for knowing how to do what to do and why you're doing it, it makes it very hard for them to grow up into any other positions, and it makes it very hard for you to ensure that that system works outside of that person.
Yeah,
So I think just investing in the insurance policy that should everything go away tomorrow, you know exactly where to start up again and what to do.
yeah. No, I think that's huge. And that's definitely, we want the business to be bigger than any one person. And a lot of businesses, that's the step that they're in and they're learning about. So I love that. Well, Lauren, thank you so much for just, again, I want to just compliment you as someone that, just takes action. Like that's the kind of person you want. Everybody wants in their business. So I'm sure Sean loves that about you too. If other people want to connect with you as a result of just listening to this, to do some business with you, how can people find you guys?
Yeah. So our Facebook group is the Shawn Martin Group MD. That's an easy way if you're following on socials. Smart Move MD is Sean's Instagram that we kind of run everything through. And then my email is just Lauren at theshawnmartingroup.com. Sean with a SHAWN because he doesn't like the other way.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks again, Lauren. It was really awesome just chatting with you a little bit today. Thanks so much.
Not a problem. Thanks.